Okay, so my camera shut off while I was trying to put this thing back on. So here's this video continued. Here we go. I'm gonna try not to do that again. All right, so basically I'm gonna put that on my calculator, 3.5. The thing I left off on was making sure you're in degrees and not in radians because you're gonna get the wrong answer. So 3.5 divided by tangent of 36. Okay, and you should get 4.8. So my A is 4.8. Then the other thing we have to calculate is our perimeter. Okay, so if I know this is 7, right, and I know we have 5 sides, 1, 2, 4, 5, yeah. So to find the perimeter, I just take 7 and I multiply by 5, and that is 35. All right. Then my last step is just plugging into my formula. So area is 1/2 my apotheum, which is 4.8, times 35. And I'm going to plug that in my calculator. I'm going to do 4.8 times 35 times 0.5, or 1/2. Okay, and I'll get 84. So my area here is 84, inches squared. Okay, so that's kind of what, once you got this part, okay, that's going to be the repeat. We're going to do these steps over and over and over again. Your homework, you can already start doing your homework after knowing this. So this is basically what we're learning today. But here's some things to remember. So this next part, just finding your measure of that central angle that I'm talking about. So again, we can divide these out. This is not perfect, I'm sorry. But the central angle that we're going to want to find is the one right here. Okay, that kind of divides, that kind of makes up the apotheum and one of those sides, and the half of one of those sides. So we're going to have to find that angle, and it's the same formula every time. It's just 360, like I said, divided by the number of sides times 2, or 2n. Okay, so it's probably prettier to write it like this. Okay, so for this triangle, right, I have 1, 2, 3 sides, so I can do 360 divided by 2 times 3, and that is 60. Okay, so 60 degrees is my central angle for that one. For this square, right, if I divided it up, again, I apologize for it not being perfect. This angle right here would be 360 divided by 2 times 4, which is just 45 degrees. And then same thing, I'm not even going to attempt to draw this one, but again, it's the same thing. There's 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I do 360 divided by 2 times 5. And so you can just go straight to the angle at this point, okay? But I just want to kind of go over that so it can save time. So you don't have to draw everything out and then figure out, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, divide that by 4, and then divide by 2 again. No, just plug it into the formula, and then I'll give you the angle that you're going to use for these problems. Okay, so here is another question. This time, it's a little easier. So we know we have an octagon. We know our apotheum is 4 feet, and we know one of our sides is 6 feet. So for the octagon, that means we have 8 sides. So for 8 sides, we can find our perimeter by doing 8 times however many sides we have, which is 6, or how long each side is, which is 6. This is how many sides we have. And 6 times 8 is 48. So that's my perimeter, 48 feet. And then my apotheum, which is given to me, is 4 feet. And so we'll just plug those into my formula, which is 1/2 my apotheum times my perimeter. So 1/2 times 4 times 48, which will give me 96 feet squared. Okay. All right, so let's go on to this next one. All right, we got to find our perimeter. Okay, so let's count how many sides we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 sides. So we got to do 11 times 2 to find my perimeter, which is 22. All right, now we got to find our apotheum. Okay, so we can draw a little triangle here. I won't be able to do that as easy. But if I divide this in half, my length, half of this side right here is 1. So that's going to be the length I'm going to use. And then I form a right triangle. And so let's calculate that central angle using that same formula. So I'm just going to say central angle, CA, would be 360 divided by 2 times however many sides, which we said my sides are 11. So 360 divided by 22. So we do 360 divided by 22. All right, so that's about 16.3636. So let's just do 16.36. Okay. Ooh. Slide this over. Okay. Then we know, okay, so that's the angle that's going to be in here. So 3.36 is the angle I'm going to use. Again, this is my opposite, this is my adjacent. I'm going to use my opposite, and I'm trying to find my adjacent, so I'm going to set it up. Opposite and adjacent is tangent. So tangent of 36.36. So please, please, please be careful. Please make sure you round to 2 decimal places here and not just 1, because there's a big difference when you're doing trig between 2 decimal places and 1. So make sure you're rounding to 2. Okay, and so we have tangent of 30. Where am I getting 36? This definitely says 16. Okay, so sorry about that. Good catch, Rebecca. Or Miss Garner, I should say. Okay. 16. Good save, good save. Okay. So 16.36, and then we'll do opposite, which is 1. Right, half of 2 is 1, all over my adjacent. So I'm going to multiply by the A. And then that's equal to 1. Divide by the tangent of 16.36. And so we got 1. Again, make sure your calculator is in degrees. Okay, so 1 divided by a tangent of 16.36 is 3.406. So I'm just going to say 3.14. And now we have my perimeter. We have our apotheum. So the area, and I would usually call this little a, not big A. That way we're not getting confused between area and apotheum. But anyways, so we'll plug it in 1/2 times my apotheum times my perimeter, which was 22, equals 37.4. Okay, and that's inches squared. All right, so that's it for that question, and let's do one. Let's do one more. Almost lost my paper. Okay, one more. Or let's do 2 more. Sorry, 2 more. Okay, so looking at this next one, again, this is very, very similar. Sometimes it might be, oh, okay, there we go. We're going to perimeter one. So I want to make sure you know how to do that. So we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so same type of thing. If you want to pause the video and try this one on your own, you can. We're just following the exact same steps that we did for the last couple. All right, welcome back. Okay, so here we go. So let's plug, first of all, we want to find our perimeter. So our perimeter is however many sides we have, which there are 6 sides. So our perimeter is just going to be 6 times 6, which is 36. Okay, and then we're going to find our apotheum by using our trig. And notice we're using tangent pretty much every time. So for the most part, you're probably going to use tangent for the problems that we're going to be doing. Now, we know if we're given our, let's say our apotheum, and we want to find our side, then we'd have to use something else. But for the homework, all of them should either involve the perimeter or the sides. So you're probably always going to be using tangent. All right, so half of this, 6 is 3, so that's what we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and find that central angle, which is 360 divided by how many sides we have, which is 6. It is 6, right? Yeah, 6. Make sure, times 2. And so 360 divided by 2, or divided by 12 is 30. Okay, so 30 is right here. And then we're just going to use our trig. So again, this is opposite, this is adjacent. So tangent of 30 equals 3 over our apothium. Okay, and then same thing, multiply by a. Okay, so that, when we put that on our calculator, should be 5.2. So our apothium is 5.2, our perimeter is 36, so we're just going to plug it in. 1/2 our apothium times our perimeter, and that equals 93.6 feet squared. Alright, and so notice they also, I'm going to be giving this to you guys as well for the test if you forget. Like, for example, this next question, a regular pentagon. What is pentagon? What is that? So it's something with 5 sides. So I kind of make a note over here, n is 5, just so you know, oh, okay, that's what I'm going to be using. But it's telling me this. Okay, the perimeter is 40, so that's awesome. So we already got one of the 2 things that we need. Okay, but if I was going to draw a picture of this, so y'all bear with me while I try to draw a pentagon. Oh gosh, this is bad. This is not a good pentagon. Let me try again. Let me just do it again. Okay, that was a little better. Okay. Just ignore the house that I just drew. Okay, so pentagon right here, this will be the middle. So let's try to figure out what all the sides would be. So if I know my perimeter is 40, I can figure out what my sides are by dividing it by 5 this time. So this would be 8. Okay, so I know this part is 8. So if I cut it in half again, I know this side right here is going to be 4. Okay. So make sure, I'm not writing 84, so just make sure you're not getting confused. 4 is right there. Okay, and then let's find our central angle, which would be 360 divided by 2 times however many sides, which is 5. So that would be 360 divided by 10, which is 36. So I know this angle in here is 36. And then again, I'll do opposite over adjacent. That will give me my apothium. So I'll do tangent of 36 equals 4 over a, my apothium, multiply by a, divide by tangent of 36. All right, and this would equal 5.5. So my apothium is 5.5. Sorry, I got cut off. 5.5. My perimeter, again, is 40. So I'm just going to plug it in. Let me write it right here. 1/2. My area is 1/2 my apothium, 5.5, times my perimeter, which is 40. And so that will be 110 centimeters squared. Right? So that's it. So hopefully that will help you for your homework. I'm going to upload a key as well so you can check your work, a detailed key. So if you have any questions, if you were like, let's say you got, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say for like this last one, you got like a 93.3 or 93.7. You got 93 point something. That happens a lot when you're doing trigs, so don't freak out if you got it close. So like I was doing these problems and it wasn't exactly matching it. So if you don't get an exact answer, don't worry about it. Don't, like, you will be able to know which one to pick for the quiz because it'll be multiple choice. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Love you guys. Bye.